My work is all about trusting your heart. I lead retreats and coaching programs. I work one on one with people, teaching them how to quiet the noise in their head and listen to the wisdom of their heart and to trust that wisdom to guide them into the life of their fullest expression, even when it doesn't make sense. Because oftentimes our heart's going to ask us to do things that don't make sense, or it doesn't fit within the conventional ideas of how we should live or how life should look. So this is what I teach people, right? Trust your heart, let it light the way. So at the end of last year, when my partner of 9 years told me that he felt he needed to hit the pause button on our relationship, I was surprised. We were engaged in some counseling, couples counseling. So I knew that things weren't, there were some things that weren't necessarily working, but all in all, we had a really beautiful relationship, a beautiful friendship, lots of love present, and even still, lots of love present. And yet he's telling me, I can't quite explain it. I don't rationally understand it, but I feel like this is what I need to do for myself and my growth right now is I just need to hit the pause button on this thing. How could I argue with that? Right? He's doing exactly what I teach people to do. And what I believe is so important in terms of how to live is that we trust something deep within us to guide our way. And even when it's hard. So I didn't like this information. It's not exactly what I wanted or would have chosen at the time. But I knew he was speaking his truth, even knowing that it might hurt someone he cared deeply about. And I really appreciated the courage and the bravery that took. And on some deep level, I trusted it. That what's best for him or is in his highest good is in my highest good as well, or in ours together. So I really believe that life is always happening for us, right? Not to us. We're not the victim of what's happening. Life isn't out to get us, but that life is happening for us, and it's always unfolding in a way that's going to lead us into our next level of growth and into our fullest expression, our fullest potential. But I'll tell you, that's a lot easier to believe when things are going the way you want them to. It gets a little tricky when shit starts going off the handle, right? When someone you love is breaking up with you, it's a lot harder to feel like, oh, this is happening for me. And in that way, my experience at the end of last year and what the last 9 months have really been about for me have been stepping into an ever greater level of trust in life and a surrender to a greater plan. Right? My tendency is to want to grasp and control and kind of force life to go in the way that I had planned for it to go, the way I think it should go, the way I think I want it to go. And it's not going that way, right? All of a sudden, it's not going that way. And now what? So that's what I'm going to be sharing with you guys over the next couple of weeks. I want to kind of walk you through what I've been through the last 9 months or so and the lessons that have emerged in that process for me. So sometimes we come across change in this way. Of course, there are times, and I'm an advocate for this as a retreat leader and a coach, I don't think we have to wait for life to jolt us before we start making changes. We can recognize that things aren't working quite how we want them to, or we're not getting the results, we're not as satisfied, something feels sticky or off, and that can compel us or inspire us to take some sort of action, right? Maybe we hire a coach, or we go see a therapist, or we register for a retreat, or we take a class, or we make some sort of change that moves our life in a different direction. But sometimes life provides that for us. And whether we wanted it or not, or whether we would have chosen it in that particular package or form or not, here it is, right? Life is giving it to you. And it is a call to trust. A call to trust that even amidst what's happening and what feels like it's happening to you, that it's actually happening for you. So my question that I'll leave you with today is, where is your life feeling a little sticky? Or do you find yourself in a place where it's like, oh, I want to change and I'm not quite sure how to get there? And maybe there's an opportunity for you to take a really aligned and inspired action towards causing that change. Or maybe you find yourself in the place I did back in December, where life is giving it to you, right? The circumstances are lining up in such a way that you're being asked to deal with this, whether you really wanted to or not. And can you take a deep breath and consider that everything that's happening in your life right now is happening for your growth and for your highest good? And what difference might it make if you held it in that way? Life is calling you to a deeper level of trust. What will you do now? All right. I'll be back again soon. We'll talk about what started showing up for me in the process of adjusting and healing and sort of reorienting my life without my partner, and how I've tapped into and surrendered in ways that I couldn't have imagined 9 months ago. All right. Thanks for being here, you guys, and journeying with me, and I'll see you soon.